Hey, so this is a little behind the scenes video of some of the workflows I've been experimenting in Blender. Skip over it if you're not interested in Blender or motion graphics or motion design or AI integrations with motion design in general, because this might be a little bit longer, because I'll go through the thing that I experimented with today. So a little context. A few days ago, I tried out for the first time Blender MCP. Little explanation, what is MCP? MCPs allow basically AI models to interact with specific software. Basically, they can give commands to a software, and the Blender MCP allows like coding editors like Cursor, for example, to give commands to Blender and execute certain functions that you would normally do manually by hand. It can execute them directly in Blender for you. And I tried it out a few days ago, and so far I wasn't super impressed with what it was capable of doing. And I have not seen many impressive demos so far that could actually demonstrate what can be done successfully with it, except for like some really trivial use cases. What I tried to do today, currently I'm doing this 30-day video challenge, where I try to do one video every day. There's a lot of editing involved, and sometimes it takes more time than I want to. So I was looking into, hey, can some of this be automated somehow in Blender or in general and with software? So I'm quite interested in automating some of the tedious things about editing, like creating motion graphics, creating text that pops into the screen, etc. So what I've tried out today is I went to DeepSeek, and first I exported my entire script. So all the things I was saying in the video yesterday, I transcribed it and put it into DeepSeek and asked it to kind of create a line-by-line creative direction for a video with like titles, animation, graphs, and to break it down into scenes and what should appear on the screen in each scene. So gave it this entire all my words that I've spoken, and then let it think for a bit. And it was basically analyzing everything I was saying and suggesting things that can be put on the screen while things are happening. For example, when I say, anyway, it's completely open source, it suggests visually to put the open source logo or like the GitHub AutoCAD on the screen. Like after it thought for a while, it gave like a whole visual breakdown of the entire scene and what should happen visually, and what should happen as a text overlay or as a sound effects, like icons appearing or text labels appearing, like designers, product managers, etc. So I thought, okay, this is great, some cool stuff. Like if you had actually time to implement all of this, that would cost a lot of time to put this into motion graphics, even though a lot of it isn't really that much creative work. Sometimes it's just animating things in and out. So I said, like, hey, this is great, but let's kind of think one step farther. If now I would give this to a coding agent, like write me a plan in a markdown file, how you would communicate that to a coding agent to give the commands to MCP to build this entire scene. And obviously not my video, but everything else. I just said, assume that the video and the sound is already there. Basically just all the visual elements, text, icons, animations, etc. So then it thought again for a little bit and gave me like a whole plan of like a scene-by-scene breakdown, with Python scripts to run and like all that stuff. I looked briefly into it and decided, okay, that sounds good enough. Let's copy the whole thing and bring it into my coding tool, Cursor. So yeah, then I posted it into a README file here, and then I referenced it in the agent mode and said, hey, let's go ahead and make this happen. Like, let's implement the scene and the camera and everything. So it went ahead, did a bunch of work, set up a bunch of things, and this took like 5 to 10 minutes, no, maybe, yeah, around 5 minutes. And I was like, okay, finished. Like, I created 65 objects, I created 40 custom materials, 33 text elements. It's kind of hyping itself up for some reason. I wonder if Cursor changed something about the prompt so it hypes itself up to create better content or something, or responses. Yeah, it breaks basically down everything it says. So based on what it's saying, it sounds like it did an awesome job, but obviously I was watching it the whole time while it was doing it, and immediately I found lots of issues. Like, first of all, it put all the elements on the screen and they were like overlapping and they were animating in partially, but then they would just stay on screen and not disappear. So things just kept adding up on top of each other. Then this camera itself was not set up correctly, so you were looking at it at a weird angle, like not a fully frontal view of the entire scene. And then all the materials were super ugly. Everything was glowing, and everything was kind of overexposed looking and not really professional or engaging. So I gave it all as a feedback, and obviously I'm absolutely right, as it always says. But what it did is, like, it threw everything away again from the scene which is created before and started recreating everything. And the second time around, it actually did a better job. And I show you what it did. Basically here, you can see it. It, like, first of all, it created in the beginning like a big update, nice animation, and then like designers, product managers. So as I was talking about that, these things would be appearing on the screen, and obviously it's like still far away from being really useful, but I was still impressed that it kind of created this thing scene by scene and actually put it on a timeline and animated things in and animated things out. I think it would still need a ton more guidance to stay on track, because this is like a 1 minute script basically, and for a 1 minute script it would need much tighter hand holding for each scene to nail each individual scene. But it was already quite impressive to see it kind of execute the vision. And yeah, so I think I will continue experimenting with it and think how some of these things can be automated, or how in general the Blender MCP agent can be used in a more sensible way and a more useful way. I think for big tasks like that, it was an interesting experiment, but still quite a bit off from where I would like to see it. Or like, I think with enough work, I could also imagine creating additional guiding agents on top that will monitor and guide the coding agent to create the right thing and to create something that's visually more appealing. But at the moment, it's because it's an LLM that's doing the work ultimately, it's not designed to judge the visual elements of it. So it's mostly just doing text-based operations, and what is actually shown then in the end is not really evaluated with a creative eye. So there would be a need for some kind of multimodal approach to this to achieve good performance and good visual results. Yeah, so that's what I've been working on. If you're interested in more behind the scenes, tell me or follow me and tell me what you found interesting about this. Yeah. Bye.